Scott, looked like a game of two halves today. How did you see it?
Well, I thought it was better than the other night. That was a game of two halves. I thought we stabilized ourselves a little bit in the second half, and we're slightly better in some areas. But we had the lapse in the third, and obviously tied in the fourth. So we're making really small improvements, which I'm excited about. First, I'd like to say shout out to, excuse me, Jason Kadee. 400 games is massive. I don't care where you are in the world. But congrats to him. Yeah, we're grinding away, and we got to make some more improvements here and there. But I love the fight the last two games from our guys.
The opening quarter, 13-22, was very good from your team, and not only that, it was the 10 fast break points that you managed to conjure up, of course, and you managed to attack the 36ers' transition defense. Was that a plan going into this afternoon?
No. Our plan was to just play it hard and get back to playing as hard as we could and get our defense underneath us, and trust the pass offensively, and move the ball. And we've tried to simplify a few things, and they got us a little out of disjointed a little bit in the middle of the third there, which obviously wasn't great. But again, I was very happy with the fight to come back in the fourth and get it back to a few possession game, which was great. And we just got to keep working.
So what broke down for you in the third quarter in the sense of how Adelaide got back into it? I think they did their defense.
Well, I mean, we scored 11 points, so credit them. They got us out of our spots, and we got a little anxious and probably a little impatient in some areas. And that was enough to obviously sway the momentum back to them.
And Will, you were a big rock in that defense in the first half, particularly in that first half. So did you feel like your team was locked in underneath the basket and really making sure the Sixers couldn't get that ball inside?
Yeah, I think we did a good job of sort of getting them off the three and then, not necessarily just letting them into the paint. And then I think for the most part, we rebounded pretty well off of that. And then, yeah, like Scotty said, we just got pushed out a little bit in the second half, and they crawled in. We threw a few loose turnovers, and I mean, you let a team like that get away and hit a few threes, it changes the story. But also wanted to shout out Jace Kadee. I mean, I played, 50 games with him as well. He was massive for my career. Early on, I was lost and confused, and he grabbed me under his wing and took me there to QBL, and really should have showed me the way. And I wouldn't be the player or person I am without him. So if you're watching this, Jace, big shout out to you. But I'm sure I'll see you later on. So thank you.
So how does that impact, in someone like Jason Kadee being in a team with you and that, and what does he bring to the table that we don't see?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great leader. I think he's a very steady head, very composed. I mean, he can shoot the ball, so he's always an offensive threat, and he can always get hot. But he was a pass-first guy, wants to get everyone involved, and I think he's just a great, steady leader on and off the court. I think the off-the-court stuff is what people don't see, but the daily habits, the practice habits, and everything, he's great. And, I mean, he's just an all-around good person, good family guy. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. Just following up on that, Will, one thing we do see from Jace is that he's a great lob passer to his speed. You've benefited from that a little bit over the years?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I have. I don't think you have one tonight, though, so that's, yeah.
No, he definitely wasn't looking for you tonight. Block shots, you've had some big ones this season. The one on Marcus stands out. Where do you rate the one on Montrez tonight? That was pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know. I just try and do my job, protect the hoop. Sort of up to you guys to where you want to rank him. But I mean, he's a hell of a player, and I just try and do my job and stop the ball from going in.
How do you look back on this weekend? The response from Wollongong has been really good, especially defensively. This was a really good 8 quarters of basketball defensively this weekend. How do you sort of sum up the weekend despite the fact that you've lost both games?
Yeah, I think we've sort of held two very high potent offensive teams in the 70s. And I think for us moving forward, that's right where we want to be. And I think just our disposition and effort to go and play was much better than just the Illawarra game. And yeah, we just got to try and find a way to get a few more easy buckets and sort of get ourselves out of the hole when we sort of dig ourselves one a bit quicker. I think we do a decent job of it, but it sort of takes 6 minutes, and we need to sort of chop that down to 3 minutes or 2 minutes and just sort of grind away there. But like Scott said, I mean, there's a lot of potential and a lot of growth going forward, and we'll just go back into work next week and try and capitalise off the positives and learn from the negatives. So I'm actually pretty excited about the team moving forward.
Scott, this might seem like a simple question, but do you feel like you've now found your defensive groove? It's just a matter of now finding those probably five or 6 or 7 extra baskets a game?
Well, I said it, I don't know when, but maybe in the last month or so at some point or another, this group reminds me a little bit of our first year where we had trouble scoring, and we ended up playing defense pretty well for the course of the season. And, if you told me that at the end of this weekend that we, hold Sydney to 80 and these guys 77, I'd be pretty darn happy about that because they can really score the ball at a very high level. And we do have to obviously continue to ramp up how we can score a little bit better. And we have to have guys just a little bit more consistent across the board shooting the ball and picking up their individual games, which will also help. But our intent to go play is there, and I love the fact that we actually have a bunch of adversity, and people are all mystified by the fact that all of a sudden we've lost games, or it doesn't look like the jack jumpers, or whatever the narrative is, and it's actually internally to us a little bit hilarious at one level because I see the guys work every single day, and every season can't be as beautiful as everyone would like it to be, and I love the fact that these guys will just show up on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and just go at it and try to fix things, and we'll land where we're supposed to land during the course of the season. And our work ethic is not going to change. Our internal culture is not going to change. How we carry ourselves on and off the floor is not going to change, whether we're winning or losing. And I'm proud of that fact. Yep, I'd love to win some more games, obviously, but the basketball gods take care of you if you're doing the right things for long enough, and we'll keep working.
Just with Chicken, after what we talked about with him on Friday night, was that a difficult discussion with him to have before this game? And in the end, you've done everything that you said you would on Friday. You got him in this game early, you gave him more minutes to play, and he actually had an impact. So what did you think of how he went?
Yeah, I think he's got to get disciplined in areas defensively to allow him to stay on the floor a little bit. He picks up some fouls that are really unnecessary that far out on the floor. And he's had a little bit of trouble picking up our offense, to be quite honest with you, and he's going through that process too. So it is a big change from coming from the G League, and he's been a role player his entire career, and we brought him in here as to be a role player for us with the roster that we thought we would have when we started the season, and I need to use him. And when we brought him in, we thought he'd play 15, 20 minutes and get 7, 8, 9 points by just being scrappy and flying around, and we kind of continue to go down that road with him. And, he's a worker, and the guys love being around him. And, my conversation is always truthful and honest. And, like I said, it was a horrible coaching decision by me last game to do that to him. And we move on. That's all I can do.
Thanks very much, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.